Yeah, yeah. CL. Yeah. Yes, sir. Them other guys ain't got no style. We know what's up before it go down. This is the rundown. This is the rundown. If you ain't know the deal, I bet you know now. This is the fans' voice. You hear them vocals. This what the people need and what they want now. This is the rundown. This is the rundown. If you ain't know the deal, I bet you know now. This is the rundown. This is the rundown. This is the rundown. If you ain't know the deal, I bet you know now. It's the rundown sports. It's the rundown sports. They know. Oh, they know. I'm about to blast off. That's for sure. Yeah. It's the rundown sports. Yeah. Hey. Hey. Shout out to Zonnie Beats, man. So nice I had to bring it back twice. Yeah, dude. What's happening, people? What's going down? What up, though? And I'd like to welcome y'all back to the Rundown Sports Podcast. Gotta know it. I am your host, CL. And I thank y'all for listening, however you're listening. Hope you came from therundown.com. That's darundown.com. Gotta know it. We are the new voice in Atlanta sports and hip hop. And if you don't want to come to the site, you can always go to iTunes and catch this bad boy. Subscribe. Oh, and please rate and review. We need it. Please show us some love if you really genuinely want to show us some love. If you mean what you say. Or you can catch it on YouTube. Coming soon to Stitcher and coming soon to SoundCloud. Y'all come rock with the boy. Now, this is part 2 of my sit down on my little chat with Keith Nelson Jr. CultureToProve.com. And this is where we get into the hip hop part of the conversation. I told you, man, we was kicking and having a good time. So, it was a good time to do it. You know, Jalen and Jacoby just wrapped up the hip hop group bracket. And if y'all don't know, they just pretty much had like a March Madness style thing where they put all the greatest groups, and Outkast was number 1. So you know I had to come do it big for the A. Shout out them boy Outkast, the original AT aliens. Y'all did y'all thing, came out on top over the Wu-Tang. It was a shock to me, but I'm glad it happened. And that's right on time, man, because they finna do their farewell shows down here in the A this weekend. Anybody want to get your boy out there, y'all just come hit me up, ask you at the main event on Twitter. I will come out there if you got a ticket for your boy. But man, we got into a little bit of it all when it comes to them groups. I ain't gonna hold it up no longer. Let's get into it, man. Gotta know that. It's the rundown. All right, on part 2 of the Rundown Sports Podcast with Keith Nelson Jr. Now, from here on out, we're going to just talk some hip-hop.
Nice.
Especially, I guess, to even tie it back in with sports, the Jalen and Jacoby bracket. But before we jump into that, the Kendrick Lamar track just came out a few days ago. By the time people gonna hear this, and the song is called "I." Twitter just went ham. People calling it a classic. People calling it trash.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just knee-jerk reactions all over the board. I'm like this. I'm gonna say it, and then I want to know what you think. But Kendrick has entered that territory where it does not matter what the single sounds like. If you think about every artist from Jay-Z to Kanye to Eminem, you hear them songs, they don't really sound like what came out before. You like, what is this? And then within 6 weeks, it's like a top 10 hit, and you're not even worried about it anymore. Where are you standing on?
My thing is, you hit it on the nail, and I didn't even think about this until you just said that. But I think he's definitely entering, and when you enter that space, you can just as quickly fall out of that space. That's why he's got to be careful. Like, he's entering. I would say where Kendrick is at right now in his career, I would say is where Eminem. His career is very much similar to Eminem's, like in a lot. Like and that could be because of the Interscope machine, which does make artists go certain ways or market them some way. But he's definitely in that kind of lane where he's Eminem 2000, right before the Mohammed LP came out, when we heard the Slim Shady, we heard the real Slim Shady, like right before the album came out, and we're like, okay, he can still do these funny things, but let's see what else he could do. You know what I mean? So, because to me, first off, it's not a surprise that Twitter had these knee-jerk reactions. It's Twitter. It's fucking Twitter. You have 140 characters to say an opinion. Like, yeah, it gets, and if you try to use multiple tweets, it just looks stupid. Right. You know, not stupid, but it just looks. It's not a conversation. You just can't see it. Some people could tweet. You could tweet. I remember this guy Pete Oswald, this comedian. He used to do these things where he would tweet out the second half of a tweet that would look like some wild, crazy stuff. Like, he'll have one that says, the tweet will be like, Hitler is bad. I mean Hitler is good. But then it'll be the first tweet before that will be, in a crazy world, ... Then it'll be like, Hitler is good. You know what I mean? So it'll be like, he just playing on the whole, like, knee-jerk reaction. But the knee-jerk reaction is also because Kendrick Lamar is that dude. Mm-hmm. Like, he is that guy. Like, Drake gets the same kind of knee-jerk reactions.
Yeah, you're right about that.
You know, Drake, to me, Drake and Kendrick are the only two rappers who get those kind of reactions that quickly. Like, people stay up. People from LA would listen to that song when it debuted. It debuted at 7 a.m. on the East Coast. So that means people were up at 4 a.m. in the morning listening to the Kendrick Lamar song. And I think the song is great. Now, the song is really good. Lyrically, he goes off. The third verse is remarkable. And the chorus is super catchy. Got that Isley Brothers sample. But people are just hating on it. There's people who are hating on it. But to me, people are hating on it because it's happy. Mm-hmm. And not to say that people don't like happy songs. People just have a shorter tolerance for happy songs. People just start to not like happy songs after a while. Like, you can have hot nigga, no chorus, no real chorus, one long verse, no real structure, and people will love it. Because one, that's hip hop. That's what hip hop was. Hip hop was just go off and just do. But then it's like, why do you only like that? Like, why is it him or Young Thug or Chief Keef or Lil Durk or nothing against these dudes, but why these the dudes that people are saying are the new guys coming into the game, the new dudes upcoming the game? Why is that the ones that everybody likes? It's because, to me, it's that the world isn't happy right now. People aren't happy right now. So you're not going to take happiness. You're going to take happiness with a grain of salt. There's people who hate it happy. People who hate it happy, and they blame it on radio. Oh, radio played it too much. Radio played the crap out of every Drake song ever, and I rarely see people say they get tired of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's because, it's just, and happy is happy is timeless. Happy is a Marvin Gaye, Sam Cooke, Ella Fitzgerald, like, timeless record right there. And I think is on that same, it's not on that, it's nearing that same level, I like to say, because Kendrick, I don't want to get too much into it because I know we got other topics, but the thing about is that Kendrick Lamar, he put that out purposely during a time when every week for the last 2-3 months, we've got nothing but Ferguson, mm-hmm. Mike Brown, Donald Sterling, Danny Ferry, Ray Rice, like every week for like the second half of the summer until now has been just one thing after the other of just like pain and torture and like in America, because it happens all over the place. But when it happens in America, which is where he's stationed at, which is where he's from, he's going to react to it a different way. And he's going to try to uplift the people instead of just being like, there's two sides you can do it. You could do the Vince Staples side, where we had a song called Hands Up, talking about the LAPD ain't about shit. I refuse my right to remain silent. Like, you can go with the angry side of it, which Kendrick has done many, many times on like Ronald Reagan era, something like that. Or you can go Kendrick's side and help the people, help them be like, yo, I love myself. Why is that bad? How are you calling when it's not catchy when the chorus is I love myself over and over again? A little bit. The world can do what they want. I don't mind. I love myself. But what are you not liking about that?
Right.
What
is
not catchy about that?
I mean, I'm not even going to get in debate whether it's catchy. I'm going to just say this, like, saying I love myself, that's just positive thinking. A lot of people don't love themselves. And if you listen to what the song is saying and you get the message, you like, regardless of where you going to play this song at, there's probably somebody out there that needs to hear it. Now, bury that hatchet. Let's talk about the hip hop bracket. Now,
all right, let's go.
Were you following as it was going along?
I was not following as it was going along, and I want to skip my apologies to Jacoby and Jalen. I was on it from the first podcast, but I've been slipping on them. But
can't slip on Jalen Jacoby, man. That's some A1 podcast material.
It is. If you get jammed up, don't mention my name. Like, he got some Jalen Rose is hilarious.
Hey, like, this a Pop the Trump production. He embodied what I do right here. Because right now I'm at the kitchen table. I got 2 bags I take anywhere, and I'm literally popping out the trunk and doing podcasts wherever I'm at.
Thanks. That's it. Because you want, and I want to, and just real quick, I want to just give props to you and people like you who understand that this game is digital. This game being digital don't mean that everything got to be digital. You got to put some elbow grease in. You got to put some actual work in. And you having that bag and popping up anywhere with a podcast that's going to help. That's big. That's huge.
I know that, man. Now, Outkast ended up winning over Wu-Tang. We'll get to that in a second. But most notably for me, when Black Star overtook Public Enemy, they were a number 1 seed. That was a bit of an upset to me. I ain't see that one coming. The Roots, I don't know, maybe I was thinking the fact that they're on, what's the show, Jimmy Fallon, that might have catapulted them up, but I see people just like the Art Tribe Called Quest. You got an all-star cast of MCs right there. Man, I could go all day. You could Run DMC, De La Soul, Bone Thugs, NWA was all the way through there.
I'm looking at it right now. Okay. I mean,
it's so many places I could go with it. It's a true celebration of hip hop and what used to be one of the coolest parts of hip hop, which was the group. And
yeah,
I really miss that, because today it's all about the clicks. Everybody got their labels, like, the Young Moneys and the Maybach Music. And, there's really no crews because to me, there's really no money in it from the outside looking in. Everybody could just get a solo deal and work their thing. But it's like we all a family, which is cool. But it's just something about having 2 people in the studio consistently working on a project to come with that cohesive sound. And, I was unsure if Outkast was going to win, but I think they'd probably be more culturally relevant in 2014. So it didn't surprise me that they won. And to me, they're like the prime example of what a group is. 2, night and day, North Pole, South Pole, whatever you want to call it, coming together and just making some literally classic music.
Yeah. That's definitely true. And me going to your first point about why there aren't any groups before I start talking about this bracket right here, but it to me, it really comes down 100% to money. Like, it comes down to money before anything, because one, there's no more money in. Everybody in the industry will tell you there's no more money in selling music. Because there's no more money in. You're not going to really make a living off of just selling records on a major label. That's what the people in the industry don't say. It's on the major label. You can make some money outside of major label, but on a major label, because they got to get their money first, and there's not a lot of money left in the industry. People buying albums and stuff. Even though they're doing this whole new metric called Billboard Consumption Chart, which adds in YouTube views and Spotify streams to inflate your numbers. It's just some crazy weird stuff that people are starting to do to like redefine what success is. But there is no more money in the game, so people, you don't want to cut that up. You don't want to cut that money up 5 different ways. You know, Wu-Tang would never happen in 2014. That would never happen.
Oh, not even close.
One, Wu-Tang now doesn't even want to happen. Like, Wu-Tang has had problems, and what's the main reason why they're having problems? What did Raekwon complain about? Money. At the end of the day, it's money, because you can get 6 people together to make a song. Like, that's not hard. You can get 6 people together, but to get 6 people together to be in a group, which means you consistently have to sacrifice for the other person. Even if it could be a sacrifice, as in, you only get 8 bars instead of 16. That's why Slaughterhouse is one of the last new groups that will form.
Man. They're disappointing. To me,
really?
I didn't mean to cut you off, man, but they.
No. Tell me what's up.
Like, when the first Slaughterhouse sliver of music came out on that Joe Budden mixtape, I thought I'm like, oh, they should do a group. Like, I said that. And then, a few months later, they're a group. And I'm like, that is an awesome idea. Where's the guy from the South? And I feel like that was a total misstep when they put that crew together, because all their demographics, New York, Detroit, West Coast, they all had these hard sounds. And I was like, man, if you just had a little bit more balance, you guys could probably come down south and do something. But they never did. And you could tell from the music that they were making, they could put all the money they wanted into it. It wasn't going to move because the South wasn't moving with it.
And you might have just right now figured out what can fix Slaughterhouse. Because I've been racking my brain since they signed to Shady to figure out what are they missing. And I've always thought it's one or two things. Well, really one, but now it's two. And I think yours is the number one now, because mine used to be a female. A female singer, or actually a female singer and rapper. They need, that's what I think they needed. And I think I still think they need a female singer or rapper, because just off of what the same thing that what you said, it's hard for 5 men or 4 men to understand melody to a certain extent. Unless, not saying that men can't understand melody, of course, that's stupid, because got so many great singers, but when you have dudes that their job isn't to understand melody, when Joel Ortiz and Crooked Eye and all of them, when they came up off of spitting 80 bars, 90 bars, like, they weren't concerned with melody. Joe Budden might be the only one, and he's their melody dude. He's probably the melody dude. He's the only one who has a history before the group of being concerned with melody and being concerned with what sounds good on radio or what songs to be hot. Everybody else, their whole history before that was just spitting bars. Joe Budden and fucking Royce the 5'9" were beefing before they got together. It was going back and forth. I remember Bar Exam 3 when Royce went at him hard. I was like, oh, snap, these dudes are going at it. Or the Bar Exam 2. One of the Bar Exam.
I remember
Bar Exam 2 when he had cannabis on one of the songs and stuff. But yeah, that's why they can't be in a group, because groups won't work until there's extra in there, unless there's something else that somebody could do. Like you said, the Atlanta artists, that would be perfect if they had somebody like B.O.B.
right
on the group.
Or
and
can bring that melody.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Exactly. But who you thinking?
Now I was gonna say like minus the melody part because I feel like you could fix that with production, but Luda's so big as a personality. I don't know how could you shove him in a group, but
that would never work.
I know it wouldn't work, but it was hard for me to figure out like who is not big enough, but got enough swag to really do it. And I felt like they had to be at least as nice as Ludacris to even be able to hang around Slaughterhouse. But I think you really hit on it. I think B.O.B. would be a perfect hit because he brings both of those things to the table. That dude is a real musician. He played guitar in the whole nine.
And at the time, when they was forming it, which was around 2009, they were saying that they wanted to get a new cat. They were actually the original group was actually going to be with Charles Hamilton. Like, he was going to be in the group. That's why, like, if you go back to some of those videos, like freestyle sessions they had, an interview they had, there's a video online, I think it's on Joe Budden's YouTube page, of the night where they formed Slaughterhouse. Like the night that they all came together and said we're going to make Slaughterhouse. And I think they were going to get Charles Hamilton on the line in 2009. And he freestyled with them a week or two later. And it was looking like, Charles Hamilton's going to be Slaughterhouse. Or he's going to at least be affiliated. We all know what happened with, Charles Hamilton. He just fell off and it just didn't work out. Now, with Slaughterhouse, again, also with the Southern thing, they think that the Southern, cause you can fix that with production. Yeah, you definitely can fix that. And that's what they've been trying to do with production, adding in Imani, adding in all these singers. They're trying to inject the melody. But again, it comes down to not money, but you can always trace it back to money. When you depend on production for melody, that's extra money.
Right.
You depend on a singer, extra money. That's for extra singing. That's extra money. That's extra points off your album. That's extra royalties. There's something that's taken away from the group when you add in other people to do something that should be essential. In this day and age, if you don't have melody on at least half the songs on your album is not selling. There's no point for anybody to listen to your album if there's not some kind of like catchy chorus. And by catchy chorus doesn't mean commercial pop gum bull crap. Like I love myself. That's a catchy chorus, but there ain't nothing pop about that. If people listen to the bars, there's nothing pop about I love myself. Same thing with Slaughterhouse. They tried to be too much like Eminem on I think it was Our House. They tried to do the whole raunchy, funny thing. It didn't work out for certain songs. I think one of the singles it just didn't work out. But that's for that. And let me go back to this bracket real quick. Let me touch on that because I did have the Jalen Jacoby hip hop bracket. It looks good. I'm always iffy about the seeding and who goes against who. Like, to me, it just I don't know how.
Who are you talking about in particular?
I mean, nothing against. I love Black Star. I think Black Star is that first album is one of the greatest group albums ever. Like, it is beyond classic to me. But there's no way in life. There's no way in life you're going to tell me that Black Star, as a group, in their career and everything they've given, is better than Public Enemy. That doesn't make any.
So you right with me. You right with me.
That doesn't make any sense. It's like even like just off the fact that Black Star's only been out really honestly, you can count the songs they did here and there. Black Star only has one album in the last 16 years.
One, you right.
They might have a couple songs here and there. In 16 years they have one album. Public Enemy had like 3 and like 5 or 6, something like that. So you just gotta go off that. That right there was kind of like that. Right there just shows that that's just the kids. That's just the kids voting, and the kids know about Black Star. They don't know about Public Enemy like that because it's a little bit later. It's like 10 years before Black Star. So
right. I didn't know about Public Enemy is Flavor of Love. You know.
Yeah, and that's the fact that Public Enemy. The only why Public Enemy beat Houdini is because they knew Public Enemy more than knew Houdini. If Public Enemy went against the Roots, they might have lost. Public Enemy could have been a number one seed. They got taken out the first round. I definitely could have seen that because all the number one seeds advanced. NWA, Wu-Tang, Public Enemy, Run DMC, they all advanced. Speaking of that, I don't know how they didn't add in if you're gonna add in Black Star, then you might as well add in Watch the Throne. Might as well add in Kanye.
Because I mean, like the Watch the Throne thing was like two big personalities coming together for like a collaboration album. You know, like Black Star, I think was real like a traditional group. Like, cause I mean, we kind of knew Talib and Mos, but we didn't know him like we knew Jay and Kanye.
Yeah.
I think it's a
they
different.
Didn't have 3 albums yet. They didn't have no albums.
It was a different agenda. Yeah. So, you know, Watch the Throne was an agenda. We finna make this album and then we finna go on this Live Nation tour. That's what that was. Alright, I'd like to thank Keith Nelson Jr. for coming on the Rundown Sports Podcast and showing your boy some love. Y'all go check him out at cultureapproved.com. We held the last part of this interview just because I'm telling you, we went in on a lot of different subjects. The last part we did more about Wu-Tang and Phil fixing different record labels, and some of that stuff was just standalone good. And plus, I know this is like an ADD type society right now, so I ain't gonna kill y'all over the head with, you know, an hour and a half worth of content. You know, give y'all something to eat on real quick. Hopefully y'all full. And when I get ready to let that out, y'all be ready again. So y'all know where we at the Rundown Sports on Twitter, therundown.com. I am at CL the Main Event on Twitter, and I'm out here. Peace.